In this episode of Hot Ranking, we're going to talk about the album everybody's been waiting for. And after tons of setbacks today, Katy Perry has released a new album titled Smile. This album is full of lots of emotional and subconscious messages to Katy's new chapter in her life. So in this video, we're going to go over the 15 things you need to know about Smile. We'll start with this by stating something most of you already know, and that's the fact that the release date for Smile was originally going to be August 14th, but due to certain production difficulties, it was delayed for 15 days. Good news is the delay of the album coincided with the birth of Katy and Orlando's child, Daisy Dark Bloom, like one of the song titles in the album. For most of us, we have the privilege of carrying all of our music in our phones and computers everywhere we go thanks to Spotify. There's also DJs who started bringing back the trend of using vinyl records when it comes to modern day music, but Katy Perry is one of the only musicians who dare to release her music via none other than a cassette. If you're uncultured and have no idea what I'm talking about, a cassette is a little cartridge with a tape inside of it that recorded and played music via cassette players. They were mainly used in the 80s and 90s, and very few people use them today. Alright, quick question, would you go out of your way to ask your parents or grandparents for a cassette player just to listen to Smile? Speaking of which, apart from being the title of this album, it's also the name of one of her singles and carries a very special importance without a doubt. For Katy, this was truly a huge emotional, psychological, and a spiritual journey. And the release of Witness 3 years ago, let's just say it didn't reach the hope for success, almost like a flashback to be able to smile again and gaze at the light at the far, never-ending tunnel. Just food for thought. The first song to have been released to the public was Never Really Over, which, believe it or not, was recorded about a year ago. Other songs that are now available to listen for the album release are Harley in Hawaii, Daisy's, Smile, and What Makes a Woman. In these tracks, we can clearly see a more matured and emotionally stable Katy, compared to her previous work like Roar. Speaking of the song What Makes a Woman, Katy has said that this song carries a very significant meaning behind it. She wrote the lyrics herself as a message to all women, shining light at everything that makes a woman a woman. Also, she released it right before she got pregnant. An extra little fact, it's most likely Katy Perry's favorite song in the entire album. Another song with lots of emotion and lots of descriptive ups and downs within a relationship is without a doubt Champagne Problems. Katy dedicated the song to her lover, future husband, and father of her daughter, Orlando Bloom. And in case you were wondering, the latest song to be added to this album is titled Only Love, that is dedicated to none other than Katy Perry's parents. It was written at the beginning of this pandemic. This song reflects the perfect combination of emotional and personal sensation when it comes to taking care of our parents and to enjoy every single moment with them. Considering the fact that anything can happen at every moment, you never know. Now we're going to talk about the song Daisies. The music video was directed by Lisa Voloshin, who is also known as a director and having made lots of commercial videos. In her entire career, she's worked with companies such as Estee Lauder, American Express, and Nike. She mainly goes over stories told by all sorts of women who've gone through it all, which makes sense why Katy Perry would choose her for her video, since she's exploring this new part of her life. But without a doubt, the video that surprises the most out of this album has had lots of success, and it's called Smile, and there's lots of reasons why. First reason, Katy wrote this song in complete isolation, even while being pregnant and all. And at the beginning of the video, we see her wearing a bi-colored suit in black and white to represent the whole two sides to every story thing, and now you'll pretty much be able to find something positive out of everything. The music video was published last August 14th, and if you didn't know, it first arrived in Facebook's new premium service. It was also directed by Matthew Coulin, who had already worked with Katy's music videos before, directing Dark Horse and the exotic California Girls. Continuing the music video, you'll probably notice the whole plot is her trying to beat different levels in a video game she's playing. Well, guess what? The video game is not just part of the plot, but is in fact getting released today. It's called Katy's Quest, in which you need to help her find a smile. Another small little fact, the video game was released with a collab with Alienware, a computer manufacturer company. In this video, we see a cameo more exciting than all Stan Lee's cameos in Marvel movies, since we see Orlando Bloom appear as a toad who turns into a prince once received True Love's kiss. And at the very end of the video, we see a tiny Katy, which is a reference to Katy's new daughter. Just like the lyrics say, had a piece of humble pie, that ego check saved my life. Referring to the fact that she herself admits she isn't perfect and she's had her hard times, but she's had to manage and get back onto her feet. But now, she doesn't care about the critics because everything she's doing is always trendy. It simply flows and stays loyal to herself without caring whether other people like it or not. Ever since we've seen the Never Worn White music video, Katy has been everyone's favorite topic of conversation, mainly due to the fact that she had revealed her pregnancy with Orlando. And if you're asking yourself if her voice has changed in the album, let me just tell you it hasn't. It only varied a couple of notes here and there, but it only requires physical effort. So I guess anybody's at liberty to say that she is a very brave mother. Around this time, but 10 years ago, Katy released the album Teenage Dream that made her career even more successful. The album won several Grammys, and the song California Girls, Teenage Dream, Fireworks, E.T., and Last Friday Night were all at some point #1 in the Billboard chart. You know, this begs the question, Will the album Smile have the same fate Teenage Dream had 10 years ago? These were the 15 facts you needed to know about Katy Perry's new album. And now that you're familiar with them, make sure you give a listen, considering the fact that it's available pretty much everywhere. Oh, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to every channel you say so you stay up to date with the most trending things circulating around the internet. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and I guess we'll see you next week.